Yo, what's happening, people? And welcome back to the Tiki Taka podcast, where you're going to hear hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs on the way. And this week, obviously, it's international break.
Yeah,
No one even cares about the international games, watching
yeah,
them, let alone hear people talk about
I
them. So
definitely don't.
we're not going to bore you with that. We've got a top 10 summer transfers, counting them down from 10 to 1. I'll explain a bit more about like how we organize the list and the way we're going to do it in a bit. But just obviously, as it's international break, there's a couple of things that we want to talk about. One thing that we did plan on doing when we started the podcast was talking a bit about other sports. But just either because we've forgotten or there hasn't been enough time, just haven't got round to it. But with a big UFC card this weekend, Dana White's pulled it out the bag. Chimaev was meant to fight Paulo Costa.
Yeah.
Islam Makhachev was supposed to have his rematch with Charles Oliveira. Oliveira and Paulo Costa pulled out, and Dana White came up big time, man.
So I'll start off by saying first that Oliveira is my guy. Charles Du Bronx is been my guy in the UFC. I think he's unreal in terms of just what he brings as a complete package in fighting. So it's sad on one hand to see him miss out on the title fight. I think he had some like sparring injury, like a cut in his eye, fucked him up. However, as you've mentioned, Dana, it's so weird with the UFC versus like
Boxing.
any boxing or even any other sport where it's like there is one man that makes like unilateral decisions for the sport. And like, if Dana says this is happening, this is happening. You know. So it's like you take the good with the bad. But the one thing I respect Dana for and give him credit for versus boxing is Dana always puts the fights on that you want to see, like always.
Yeah.
You know, he hears what the streets, what the people are saying, and he's like, "All right, you want to see these guys versus this guy? Calm, done, done."
Yeah.
So Volkanovski, Makhachev, it's like it's 1A 1B type of thing in terms of a next best fight. Obviously, Makhachev won the first one, but I think Volkanovski is super serious, man.
Yeah.
And they're both pound for pound, probably like with John Jones, like the two best fighters in the UFC right now. And it's gonna be it's a title fight. It's belts on the line on both sides.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because Volkanovski's usually fights in a different weight class, isn't it?
Yeah. So I wonder if they're meeting in the middle.
Because last time they fought, I remember Volkanovski had to come up.
Yeah. It'll probably be the same again.
Yeah.
It'll probably be the same again because he used to be like he used to play rugby in it. So he used to be like this wham guy. So it'll be easier for him to put on the weight than it would be for Makhachev to lose the weight. I don't know if you watch the UFC do these like embedded vlogs.
You've been telling me about that. I haven't seen that.
So good, man. They do these like embedded vlogs like 1 week before.
Free plug for the UFC embedded vlogs.
Yeah, exactly. They do these vlogs a week before the fight. So basically you see like the fighters in the final stages of their training camp and the beginning of the like media press tour stuff.
Yeah.
And it's always so interesting. Volkanovski is the guy who like just trains super hard. He does the most ridiculous exercises. He's like crunching for like 7 minutes straight. And then Makhachev it's just like so serene, so calm. But everything he says just feels dangerous. He's like, I feel ready. I'm ready to fight. You know.
For those of you who don't know too much about UFC, Islam Makhachev was trained by Khabib.
Yeah.
Who you probably will know.
Is trained by Khabib.
Yeah. So still is. Yeah. Obviously for the last fight still is. So I'm guessing Khabib will be there in his corner.
100.
Yeah.
100.
Who you got in that fight? Makhachev won the first one, by the way.
I think it will go all the way. It'll probably be a 5-round fight. And I think
Islam won by decision last time, innit?
Yeah, I think he did. I think Volkanovski would do it, man. I think Makhachev is a better fighter, and it's so tough to go against him because I think he will also be Khabib 2.0.
Yeah.
But I also kind of think that Volkanovski will have learned a lot from his first fight, and he's going to be a lot more fearless, and he's just going to go out there and like. And if it goes to decision, I could see him being the more active fighter on the hands and feet.
Yeah.
However, I could also very easily see Volkanovski. You know, we saw what he did to Islam. It was militant.
Yeah.
It was just
Islam will. I feel like he could win. I think he beat Volk last time because he had more takedowns, and he seemed to be more the aggressor. But yeah, like I think from what I've seen of Islam, I just have that like that Charles Oliveira fight, just
It's
like
imprinted.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because and the way he moved, the way he positioned, the way he smelt blood, and just finished
And
the
he kills
fight
you off
there and then. But the fight that I'm actually looking forward to
the
the most is Hamza Chimaev against Kamaru Usman.
Speak on it.
And I've been wanting to see Chimaev fight again for a while.
Yeah, he's big time.
Because when I first saw him fight, I thought, yo, this guy, like, he can take down, he can strike, he can fight on his feet, he's aggressive. But I went and watched his fight with Gilbert Burns.
It's a
I
dog
was
fight.
like, I think it won like fight of the year or something.
Yeah,
and I was like, and Gilbert Burns is a serious guy.
Kamaru had a tough time with him.
Yeah, and Hamza Chimaev he just did not give a fuck. He was just like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna try to take him down.
Yeah.
And I think he'll do the same again, and I think he'll win.
I think he will beat Kamaru. Yeah. That's the problem. And Kamaru, once again, is my guy.
Yeah.
When he was champ, he was my champ.
Yeah.
You know, Nigerian nightmare. However, the UFC is always very interesting and very funny because it's like there's so many young, hungry guys. Mm-hmm. You can only be at the top for so long. You might be at the top for 4 fights. And that could be your title reign. You could do 2 fights, 3 fights at the top.
Because the next fight it's not like in boxing where you can win the title and take 6 months, a year off. They're like, Dana's gonna have you in that ring ASAP. While the hype is there, he's gonna keep you in that ring.
If you're the champ, you're probably fighting 2-3 times.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not scrubs.
They're big fights.
It's the guy who's just come out of Chechnya. It's the guy who's just come out of
He's undefeated.
Who wants it all?
Yeah, 8-0.
Yeah.
just put him in there, give him his chance. See,
a literal dog, a straight up dog.
Yeah.
Who, like wants his chance at the top.
So I think Chimaev's got that one.
I think he's got that one because of that fact. I also know, but I don't know. You know, the thing about Kamaru is he has that championship pedigree, and this is why it's such an interesting fight. Is because you're asking a guy. Kamaru wasn't at the top for 4 fights. He was at the top for 8, 9, 10, 12 fights. Like he pretty much beat everybody in his division, and then lost on a miracle kick.
Yeah,
and hasn't and can't get it back.
Big up Leon Edwards.
Big up Leon.
What a fight that was.
Yeah, feel me. So I think it's tough to count out Kamaru's pedigree because if it goes into the 4th and 5th rounds, like if Hamza Chimaev does not get him out of there in the first 2-3 rounds. And Kamaru's still in it at the 4th and 5th. I think that's when like the whole fight is different now, and like the championship pedigree comes into it. And we've seen Kamaru. Remember the Kobe Covington side? We've seen Kamaru do the like I can win it in deep ocean. Late. Like
I think with Kamaru, especially like because he won. I think did he win the first fight against Leon Edwards?
Yeah, he did.
His ground game is so good. Yeah, like when he tries to take you down, and also his takedown defense as well. Anything on the ground, but I think that's what Hamza Chimaev.
I think that's what Chimaev is going to want.
He can do it all.
He's going to want to do the John Jones. Like John Jones was like. There was a guy, it was like DC, for example, like never taking down his career. Yeah. Like John Jones gets in there, takes him down. I think that's what Chimaev was going to be on, of like, oh yeah, nobody takes you down, nobody beats you up on the ground. Yeah. And this is why I'm better, And
I saw this clip of Joe Rogan talking about Hamza Chimaev, and he was just like, this guy is an animal. He was like, obviously Joe Rogan sits just outside Noxcom when he's doing his commentary. It's like, I can't remember, I think who Chimaev was fighting, but he was just like, all he could hear Chimaev would say was, I'm gonna smash you. I'm gonna smash you.
I'm telling you, this guy's from Chechnya. What can you do, man? He's been like training for this day. Guys that
out of war-torn Chechnya.
Kind of saying, man. He's been training for this day. It's even that's the same thing with Islam and why it's so tough. And I know I said Volkanovski, but why it's so tough to go against these guys? It's like these guys who are fighting for God and country. They're fighting for like
it's a deeper purpose,
so much deeper than I just want to be UFC champion. Or I just want to have the biggest paycheck or the Ferrari or the Lambo, which a lot of champions are there for. Like these guys, it's like,
especially for someone like Islam, there's a level of like you're being trained by Khabib.
You're being trained by Khabib. This is like the way we love football and the way we love. This is what you've been doing since you was grappling, getting guys in chokeholds.
Yeah. You're representing Khabib in this fight.
You're representing
exactly. You're more than just Khabib.
So so it's dope. But the last thing I'll say is Kamaru. It's so big because if he loses this, one of the most interesting things about the UFC and the fight game or fighting in general is like when a champ loses and you wonder if he has that dog to get it back. Because if Kamaru loses this fight, instead of going from like one fight to the title shot, it's like now he'll have to fight like 3 or 4. He'll have to go on like a 4-fight win streak.
Yeah.
To even get another title shot.
Yeah.
So it's like it's all on the line here.
But Kamaru, he's such a G for even taking this fight.
Real short notice.
Like you say, if he loses, he might not get another title fight.
Real.
But he still come in on a week's notice and thought, yeah, you know what, I'm going to fight one of the baddest guys in the UFC right now.
So if you watch the Embedded Vlog episode 1, he literally talks about it and he's like, yo, this is the fight game. Big risk, big reward.
Yeah.
Like you lose the fight, you have to deal with that. Or if you win the fight, all the fame, all the glory, everything that comes with taking the fight on a 1-week notice and winning is in your favor. And then he mentioned taking a fight in Fight Island with Jorge Masvidal on 3 days notice.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, I've done this before.
Yeah.
I've fought the baddest guys in the UFC on 3 days notice and won those fights. So he has, as I'm saying, he has the pedigree.
Yeah. He
has the pedigree, but as you're fighting somebody who wants it. Has
like,
never been to the top.
And Usman's a sick fighter, but I personally think Chimaev's going to win the title soon.
It is in his destiny.
Like, he's fighting probably one of the top guys in that division.
He's got a screw loose, man.
Wait, imagine stepping in the octagon with someone like Hamza Chimaev, and then he's on the floor and he just kind of moves towards you. Yeah, long day.
I can't wait. So big up Stainer though.
Yeah,
he's got us gassed. He's got us gassed for it. I'll be there.
And it's at a decent time. I think the main card starts at 7.
That's what I'm saying. I'll be there.
All right then. Yeah, moving on from the UFC. And the boss that is Dana White for saving the card on the weekend. One guy that I do want to talk about, who retired last week in the football game now. One of the Premier League greats. One of the guys who used to love making us watch football. A guy who's single-handedly tore us apart in the Europa League final in Baku.
Yeah.
Eden Hazard announced that he was retiring. And instead of and this is where as much as Twitter's fun, when a guy like Eden Hazard retires,
it should be flowers.
On that day, shouldn't be, is it Hazard or Salah? Is it Hazard or Mahrez? You can have those debates, but on the day that he's retired, I think you just got to give the guy his flowers, what he did in the game, the titles he won, the influence he had in big games. We always talk about when Conte was there and they went to Man City and he scores that goal. But for me personally, one of my favorite players to watch, probably Kevin De Bruyne has probably just taken the mantle of him. But other than that, in the last 10 years, he's probably been the best player in the Premier League.
No, I think it's top. I think you're right about Twitter and stuff. I think also that is the essence of sports. And there's always going to be that player comparison. But on Hazard himself, you're right, man. There isn't the only thing, the thing that gets me more than maybe the player comparison stuff, because I know that's always going to be around, is I guess the testing of his longevity or trying the revisionism of who he was in the league. He was that guy in the league. He was that guy for sure in the league for 5-6 years. I remember his first season. He was he was nuts.
From Lille, from Lille came in.
I think he got 20 something goals all comps. 10 assists, whatever it was.
In the league, he might have got 10 and 10 or something.
It was, and what number was he wearing back then? Was it 21 or something like that?
I think he's 17.
Is it 17?
Yeah.
And then he just grew from that, and he got more polished, and he got more lethal, and
then Jose came back.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the football, he is a man of football, for sure. The football he played was majestic.
There was this tweet. This was maybe a year, 2 years ago now. I think it might have actually been Maya who tweeted it, but he was who's that one player that you always hated playing against, or always kind of scored against your club or performed well or did whatever. And and I just replied to it, and I was like, Eden Hazard, if he turned up, and this was proof on you, because we were a better team than Chelsea in that Europa League final on paper. Before the game, I thought we were a better team. But if Eden Hazard turns up, it's just long. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, I remember we said that though. I remember we said that before the game. The difference is they have a guy who might just turn up and
and if he does, and obviously it happened to Arsenal that day, but the kind of
Bare
player
teams.
Eden Hazard was, like the 2018 World Cup.
Yeah.
It could have been any team.
Bare teams got the work.
Yeah,
from
any team, Man
Hazard.
City, whoever, Real Madrid, whoever it was. If Eden Hazard turned up, long day.
Yeah, he was one of them ones. That's for sure. I think his football ability is like, I think for me, he's just under the Messi, Neymar, Ronaldo. Now just pure ability, forget the career accolades or whatever. In terms of gets you off your feet, the way he dribbled, the way some of his finishes, man, some of his like near post finishes,
left foot, right foot,
yeah.
The keeper's just stood still because he's not even expecting the shot, and he's gone past him.
He was a proper football player, and it's kind of sad to see him retire so young. But at the same time, when he didn't play like his first 2 years in Madrid, I guess you could kind of see it happening. I'm also kind of happy that he's not doing the Shaq in the Celtics jersey. Like he's not.
He's not going Saudi.
Yeah, he's
like,
not.
He's not longing it out.
Yeah, he's not in the LA. Whatever, and it's just like the sympathy.
I think obviously we don't know what's happened to him at Madrid, but I reckon he's 32. I reckon for him to have retired, he probably kind of sort of fell out of love with the game.
100. I think that happens to a lot of players, man. I think that happens to a lot of players, and like certain players is more visible than others. I think we spoke about this with like Gareth Bale. Hazard is definitely one of those guys that fell out of love with the game, and I think that leads into some of the injuries. Like as much as it is physical, it's probably more mental. Like he doesn't really
not doing the right things. As
often. Or he hopes maybe that he's a little bit injured, so he doesn't have to. And especially, the pressure on you at Madrid. It's crazy.
He was meant to be the guy
to replace Ronaldo. And Do you buy into any of the like he stayed too long at Chelsea and maybe he should have left a year earlier or so? Or do you think this maybe would have not always happened, but because there was obviously, do you remember there was a time when he was going to leave like the year before. Even like when he won Baku. We thought,
well, that was his last game, innit? He left after that season, because then Frank came in. They had the transfer ban. Sorry, left and whatever. But yeah, I think I just think it was the way he adapted as well from playing like as a winger. That for me, that's a sign of like
football intelligence.
Where someone can do what Eden Hazard does and single-handedly influence a game from multiple positions. Like when Sarri came in and started playing him as a 10 behind Morata, and I think that was his best season. He got like 16 and 15 or something. I think he's just a player that should be appreciated, is appreciated. And do you see what Vincent Kompany said when he was comparing him to De Bruyne?
No.
I think it was on one of Gary Neville's overlaps, and they asked Kompany who the best player he played with was. And he spoke about De Bruyne, and he was like, if you give Kevin a plan, like Pep has, and a system and like a well-oiled machine where Kevin De Bruyne knows where everyone's going to be, and he doesn't have to think about what he's going to do. He just gets it and puts it where he knows Sane, Haaland. Then Kevin De Bruyne is the best player in the world. But you give Eden Hazard chaos and no plan and just
football.
People around him, give him the ball, entire areas where no one should take it, and he's the closest thing to Messi.
I think Thierry Henry said something similar. I remember watching a clip, I don't know how long ago, and he just spoke about Hazard's like dribbling ability and how a lot of players think before they dribble. I remember he was doing this whole big thing of like analyzing how certain players dribble, and he was like, a lot of players think before they dribble, they want to get you on your back foot. They want to whip the ball into the back post or whatever it might be. And he spoke about Eden Hazard and like why Hazard is so tough to stop is because he doesn't necessarily think before he just goes. He gets on the ball, he feints, you move, and in that split second he makes a decision to like shuffle it between your legs or whatever he does, and it's impossible to stop because Terry was saying like he doesn't think Hazard himself knows the next step. And you can't defend against.
He's almost just reacting.
In
like that split second to what's going on and from what the defender's doing in front of him.
And that's
it's Messi type stuff.
It is. And for a long time, as you say, he was that guy in the Premier League, and he was almost the Premier League as Eden Hazard type of thing. Why the Premier League is better than any other leagues and all this kind of stuff. Obviously, he was one of the names up there with Kevin De Bruyne and whoever else. And that World Cup was massive.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that World Cup was huge.
Because I think he came away from that World Cup and everyone kind of thought, yeah, he might have been the best player there.
Yeah. There was definitely shouts of him being like the best in the world.
Yeah.
That was when they were doing the Hazard versus Neymar thing for real.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was a real conversation.
I think we had a conversation about that, yeah. But we won't get into that. Like we said, it's just the time to give Eden Hazard flowers.
But big ups to Eden, man.
Yeah.
And the money you've made, sit back. That's why I'm happy. Once again, there's no Shaquille O'Neal in the Celtics thing. We don't have to. He's not, Turkey.
Yeah.
Like, pretending to be still a top number one guy. Like, if you fell out of love with the game, you made your money. You're 32.
Yeah.
You know, like you could go do, and you're like,
you've left your mark on
exactly
football, especially English football.
English football for sure. You nobody can tell you nothing. Nobody can check shit. You'll get love. You'll always get love when you go to Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
So you're 32.
I mean, especially a lot of Chelsea fans, will describe him as the best player they've seen at Stamford Bridge
for sure. And obviously that wouldn't even be a far cry.
No. I think as in terms of when you look at, obviously they've had guys like Frank Lampard, John Terry, Didier Drogba, Iron Robin. They've had great players, but when you just look at a guy's ability on the football pitch and what he can do, Eden Hazard's he's different.
And for a player of his like stature and ability, whatever, to do that many years in the Prem and, as you say, adapt his game for multiple different managers. Every manager had to come in and almost find a system that fit what they thought Eden could do best.
Yeah.
And he did it.
Yeah.
And even in the year when he had that one-off year, he came back at the very end and, it was like 4-3, and there were the four biggest goals, and they decided who won the title and who got in the top four, and like he was bad boy. There's no way to describe it.
So yeah, Eden Hazard deserves his flowers. And moving on from that, just quickly before we do actually get into our top 10, one player who did make a transfer this season, this summer just gone, not in the Premier League, but he moved to Los Blancos, moved to the Galacticos out in Madrid. Just a boy from Birmingham. They retired his shirt number at Birmingham, and at the time, even myself, I was like, "What are they doing, man? You can't retire a shirt number of a 16-year-old." But fair play, man. Like they obviously saw it at Birmingham, and we're all seeing it now. Jude Bellingham, like what he's doing at Real Madrid, what he did last night for England. I think I saw a stat. He's played 13 games this season, 11 goals, 5 assists.
It's crazy.
You watch quite a lot of Madrid.
I do.
Well, what do you think of his start there?
I was gonna say, before I even shout him out, I got to shout out Carlo Ancelotti, because it's so, the system Carlo has working. He's got like 7 midfielders on the pitch. He's got that camera at left back. He's got Jude and the false 9.
Modric,
10 position. Yeah, Modric, Valverde, Tchouaméni, men. Like there's so much going on, but then to give Jude his credit, for Jude to get the script, and you come to Madrid, big price tag. I think he scored like 5 goals last year for Dortmund, and for Ancelotti to be like, there's a goal scorer and playmaker and all of this in there, and for Jude to be like, yeah, I want that responsibility at Madrid in my first season. It's nuts.
Yeah. I mean,
it's nuts.
For him to not only start this well at the biggest club in the world, but he went in there and he took the number 5 shirt.
That's what I'm saying.
Obviously, famously worn by Zidane at that club, and to do what he's doing, scoring goals, scoring last-minute winners consistently.
It's so nuts. It's so nuts to see Madrid go to another level because they're the biggest club in the world. That's why I gave Ronaldo a lot of respect for what he did as a Madrid player, because you think Madrid, you're like, oh, they can't get any better, or you think that like this is it, or surely they fall down from now. Like we've seen 3-peats, and that's surely it. Yeah, they have to have like 5 years off or something, get into an NBA type rebuild, and and somehow they buy the right guy who is like not only talented enough but has the mental fortitude to shoulder the responsibility and just perform and like be disciplined in it. And it's going to be really exciting because obviously Jude is going to steal the headlines for his performances, as he should. I mean, nobody thought he's going to be bagging winners and equalizers and all these assists and stuff. So it's so big to see what Jude is doing, just because I knew he'd be a big part of Madrid's season, but you also didn't think he'd be the focal point.
Did you think he was this good?
I didn't. I have to be honest with you. I thought obviously he was a very good player, but you think a player is going to take like a year to settle in, learn the language or whatever it's going to be.
And we always talk about, obviously, there's a different level of hype around Jude Bellingham and what he's doing, and obviously his age and stuff. But you do always, especially us, we always kind of sit here and think, the Bundesliga tax. Like, we kind of need to see, not taking anything away from the player. He's young, he's doing what he's doing, but let's just see. But for him to go to Real Madrid and do what he's doing, Champions League, in the league, do what he's doing for England, being able to play as a 10, as an 8, as a box to box, like crazy. He's better than what I thought he was, because I thought he was a box to box midfielder who was going to need to learn to add
goals and assists. He's
already got that.
He's got the penalty. That's Jordan Ayew all over. Come on, I'm just going to get there first.
Yeah, he's got the athleticism. He's genuinely got everything. To be a top centre midfielder.
That second goal for the England game yesterday, where he Declan Rice wins the ball, he wins the ball again at the edge of the box. He gets Foden plays the ball, he beats the man in midfield, shows pace, shows
the long strides.
It's like that's literally that's
and
it.
he's got the end product as well.
He has it all right there. So if his confidence grows and builds, it's going to be real scary. And I think as well for England, two things. One, why I didn't think he's as good is always because you know how English media, I feel like they're so quick to put English talent already at the pinnacle of football. Like they're so quick to put a guy who's had one good season is is he better than R9? Is he better? He plays exactly like
Twitter were questioning Troy Deeney in R9.
You feel me?
I'd rather have Troy Deeney for 40 games than R9 for 50.
English media are so quick to put somebody right at the top. He's better than Zidane at this age, and all of this kind of stuff. So I'm always super hesitant to give my flowers, because I really want to see if he can hang with the big boys. And not only can
I think at this point, we gotta remember his age as well.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
Whether I don't expect a 20-year-old centre midfielder to be consistent for a whole season.
He's got 10 man of the matches
in any league,
whatever it is.
For him to have already done what he's doing, that is amazing to see. We will get into the top 10 now. So basically what I've done is I've asked, how many people did I ask? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I asked 8 people for their top 10 summer transfers in order. So obviously 1 being the best 10 being the 10th best. Obviously provided my list as well. So in total 9 lists. And if you want to get involved next time we do one of these, follow us on Instagram at Tiki Taka. Next time we do it, I'll put something up and just reply to it. But what I did was, if you put the guy in first, I gave him 10 points, second 9 points, third 8 points, and so on. And then compiled a list of everyone. So it's not just me and Michael. So we ain't gonna get accused of Arsenal bias and
all the above.
Yeah. If people are interested, we did actually have 4 Arsenal fans, a Middlesbrough fan, a Tottenham fan, a Chelsea fan. All give their list. So it's pretty varied. And I think you'll see that from what the lists are. And Michael has no idea what the top 10 is. He has no idea what other people have voted for. I'm the only one that knows. So you'll get his live reaction to whatever's going on here as well. So in total we had 22 names. Different names. Which is a lot. Normally when you do any kind of top 10, you feel like there's going to be a regularity. So I'll name all of them, and then obviously we'll get into the top 10 and talk about the top 10 in more detail. But just quickly,
blacked out the top 10.
Because I know you're looking. I know you're trying to see. So, and it'll be better to get your live reaction as they go, right?
Funny.
So, Carlos Baleba got 1 vote in number 10 from yours truly.
From myself. It's just a prediction of the future. I saw enough in the Liverpool game to know that's an £80 million player right there next season. McAllister got a vote from Liverpool. Kudus got, I think you voted for Kudus, right? Well. Dizazi, Chelsea fan. That's a terrible.
Chelsea fan put Dizazi in. João Pedro. Udogi had 1 vote. Adel put him in. But Udogie, I would have put him in. Oh, actually, I don't know if I would have put him in. He's a bit overhyped. But he signed last summer, right? And then went back out
is
on
it?
loan. Yeah, so I think
Okay.
that might be why a couple of people didn't put him in.
Okay. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Edson Alvarez. I had Edson Alvarez. I had him 5th in my list.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I thought, obviously, and we'll get into this more in detail, but of him, I actually had him higher than James Ward-Prowse in my list. Purely because I just feel like when someone comes from a different league and they come and they perform as well as he's performed, replacing a guy like Declan Rice, I think he's been very, very good so far.
I think he's been good. 2 varies. It's a lot of varies. Yeah. It's a lot of varies.
But yeah, that was why I did my list before I saw anyone else's, obviously, because I didn't want to see other people's and then be like, yeah, maybe. Moises Caicedo. I really thought you'd put Caicedo in your list, man. I had him number 10 on mine.
Nah, I don't. I
because I know he hasn't started long, but we know.
Yeah,
who
I rate him
Caicedo is.
I rate him Bez. I just thought that I've seen nothing to base it off him being a top 10 signing, and then also the fee is astronomical. Okay, so it's like those two things combined. If he was 30 mil, I'd be like, I still see it in him. Diamond in the rough, you know. But he was
150. Yeah. I only had him number 10, but he's such a top player.
Yeah, I think he will come good.
Chelsea
they have him for so long.
Exactly,
that's what I'm saying.
Exactly, they've got a centre midfield player there for 10 years.
Yeah, calm.
Cole Palmer, who Bat had him 4th.
That's great. And that. It says a lot, to be fair, by the way.
4th, man. Yo, Michael, when I saw your list, I was like, what's going on here?
I knew it was a deadline day signing. This guy's
40 million. But yeah, that had him. Obviously, Amman, the Chelsea fan, had him.
That's too funny.
Hoyland, I had Hoyland in my list.
I saw Adel
and Wivey, I think, had him in their list.
Hoyland. Scrub.
But no, you know what, bro, Martial.
Yeah, he's better.
Martial is the main reason Hoyland came into my list. Because if you don't have Hoyland, you're playing Martial, and that's a problem for any team. That'll be a problem for Bournemouth. Pau Torres made it quite high up the list. Nick had him 5th.
Of course he did.
He was only in 2 people's list though. And then in 11th was Gvardiol, who quite a few people had. I don't know if you know.
I thought about it for long and hard. Pause.
Yeah. Adel had him.
I should have had him 10th, but I saw the future.
Yeah, one person had him 5th, so yeah, he was quite high. But yeah, so that was all the names. Now getting into the top 10. In 10th place, only one person had this guy.
Is it?
But they had him first.
What?
So he got 10 points. Nobody else had him on their list. And that is Kai Havertz.
Nick. That's Nick.
I had him number 1.
No way.
Kai Havertz was number 1 on my list. And when I got the list from Nick, I messaged him back straight away and I was like, I'm disappointed you don't have Kai Havertz.
I thought, yeah.
But yeah, he was number 1 on my list.
That's crazy.
And
you're gonna have to.
You know what? Last weekend's fixtures impacted heavily.
Hey,
Arsenal made the summer signings they made to make the difference and to close the gap to the one and only Man City.
The one,
we play Man City,
and guess who does the job?
And Kai Havertz turns up off the bench, picks up an assist.
Some would say
biggest game of the season.
Someone say that one assist is worth 2.
It's worth how many points is that worth?
Yeah, that's what I say.
We'll know at the end of the season. But people want to talk about Declan Rice. People want to talk about Urian Timber. Kai Havertz came in and he made the difference in the biggest game of the season against the title rivals.
What we'll say about Kai Havertz,
straight to number 1.
What we'll say about Kai Havertz is that he is 100. If you really, I know football. I'm connected to the ether. There is going to be a game where he is the unlikely hero, and it's gonna be it's gonna be a Champions League game or a massive Prem game, Anfield away, and you won't believe the performance,
and it's gonna be an outrageous goal,
and it's gonna be
a goal that you would never ever think Kai Havertz. How's he scored from there?
Before you even have time to understand who has knocked it in, the net is aghast. And so it's just due. It's due. It's
Yeah,
guaranteed. I know that.
And you know what? I'll be. People are going to call me shameless for this, yeah. But if he hadn't got that assist against Man City, he wouldn't have been in my list.
You wouldn't have been in this.
But, yo,
hey, man.
when we needed it most,
it's about GAs. That's what they said. What goals and assists.
Kai Havertz turned up.
And speak on it.
So he went straight to number 1 on my list, and therefore he has made our top 10.
Worth 65 mil, worth every penny.
Oh, for that alone.
Yeah, I feel you.
People are trying to rob him of that assist. I'm hearing people say Ake did as much as him. But I don't care. So Kai Havertz, number 1 on my list, number 10 in our collective top 10. In 9th place, with 4 votes, was Vicario.
Oh dear.
When I got the Knicks list, Vicario wasn't in his list. I got his list, and I got a next message saying #fuck Vicario.
Yeah.
Because I think he might have spoken to Bat, who had him 7th. Obviously, for those who don't know, Bat's a Tottenham fan. And yeah, bro, I think did YV have him?
I think he did.
Yeah, YV had him, and
did Adele have him as well?
No, Adele didn't.
Smart guy.
Louis did, but yeah, YV, and you're gonna need to defend that, man.
No, what I'm gonna say is Wiley, and the problem with Wiley is he actually goes to the Tottenham games. He works at the stadium.
Oh,
so he watches Bear. Like he was telling me about Pepe Sarr last season,
and he's been entranced by Vicario.
I think he would say similar to your who was the guy that you just mentioned?
Kai Havertz.
No, not Kai Havertz. Alvarez, because he picked up.
Alvarez,
because he stepped in for Declan Rice. I think he would say similar to that because. Hennessy Hugo
hates,
because Hennessy Hugo is Hennessy Hugo.
Yeah.
And like Vicario hasn't done anything amazing, but he also hasn't done anything wrong. Yeah. That he's an upgrade. And I hear it, but I know Vicario's time is coming. I know. I know
that mistake is imminent, man.
The ghost of Hennessy Hugo is it's not too far away. It's never too far away.
I'm not convinced, man.
I'm gonna need at least 2 years of decent output and performances to think that Vodka Vic isn't just the son of
Vodka Vic. Yeah, we'll run with that.
Isn't just the son of Hennessy Hugo.
But yeah, he got 4 votes. As much as obviously he wasn't in either of our lists, I can see why people voted for him. Well, he's obviously come into
top of the league,
and I think Tottenham have benefited on this list, as we might find out going further up, from not only that, obviously good form, but the expectations being so low. After losing Harry Kane, getting a new manager that people don't really know too much about, where's the team going to go? I think they're benefiting from not only have they played well, but their expectations were so low.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
But yeah, so that was Vicario in 9th place. Then in 8th place, we got Tonali, a guy who's being sanctioned at the minute, come out of nowhere. Yeah,
it's looking like he might do time.
Yeah. He said he only bet on Milan to win though.
Yeah,
so it's not like Ivan Toney.
I saw the other guy, Fagioli or something like that.
Yeah, got a ban, 6-month ban or something.
7-month ban, but he was talking about like he was asking his teammates for money. He was like, guys were messaging him online saying, "I'm gonna break your legs if you don't pay me money."
Yeah.
He was talking about, Tonali introduced me to the legal websites. I didn't know. I was like, cat,
snake, man.
Yeah. But to keep it on football, Tonali's one of these guys where it could have been hit or miss.
Yeah.
Coming from Serie A, does he have the legs? Does he have the fight, the desire to want to play in the Premier League?
You had him in your list.
I had him in my list. I had him pretty high on my list as well. Just because he's an up on quality. Newcastle had an okay midfield, but he brings something a little bit different. Yeah. He's already got a goal or 2 or whatever it's been. Mm-hmm. And he has shown that he actually can not that I never thought that he couldn't play football at this level, because he's played in huge games for Milan.
Yeah.
And he's been like not a wonder kid, but a highly talented kid coming up. But to get like a shock move from Milan to Newcastle and still hit
the northeast.
Yeah, and still hit the ground running, I think he's very impressive.
Yeah. I think he got 4 votes from 4 different people. And YV had him 3rd, man.
Yeah, it's high up. That's
You
high
got to
up.
defend that.
But I
what's
actually,
going on there? Third.
it's not. Wow. Well, now he's gonna.
The third best summer signing.
But now he's gonna do 18
And people
months.
are gonna get onto me because they'll be like, "Well, you had Kai Havertz first, man. Kai Havertz turned up in the biggest game of the season. Won us the game. Yeah, let me forget that. But
Tonali's putting some performances, man. He's putting some performances.
I personally didn't have him in my list.
How much did he cost though? He's like 60, 70,
70 million. Yeah.
You didn't have him on your list?
No, I didn't have him on my list. I had Caicedo, I had Højlund.
You had Caicedo over Tonali. That's so skeptical.
I was surprised I was really surprised you didn't have. I really thought Caicedo would be.
I think Caicedo is a top
Who's
player.
a better player? You're gonna try and find a way to say it, but we know it's Caicedo. If I had said to you in the summer, you can get Caicedo or Tonali. You wanted Caicedo ahead of Declan Rice.
Yeah. I would take Caicedo. Caicedo is top.
But I get your point about the transfer fee. If you're going to tell me you didn't put Caicedo in the list because of the transfer fee, I get that.
Look,
he's top.
The reason I didn't put Caicedo in is simply because if we're doing top 10 signings of the summer, I was just basing off what I've seen so far, and then obviously like price tag and player ability and all the rest, and I thought Caicedo will be top for Chelsea, but I need to see the performances. I don't think he's going to be a flop. And the good thing with Caicedo or Chelsea's system or whatever is he's like 20, 21. Yeah, you have him on a 10-year contract. He could stink for 2 years. You could find a player at 24 and still have him for 7 years.
Yeah.
You know, like he could honestly stink for 2 years and he could still be a good buy. Just because he's so young and he's going to get so much better, and you already know that there is a player in there who can do it in the Premier League.
Yeah,
and it's just it depends on the manager, the system, whatever it's going to be. But there's a guy who can play top level football.
Exactly.
In there, but I do think that based off I think to your point about the shock factor,
I'd agree. Tonali's had a better 8 games.
Yeah, and I also think that I think people were kind of thinking that Tonali wouldn't hack it at the beginning of his journey at Newcastle, and I was
one of them.
He's top.
Yeah.
He's been good.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been good,
and he has to kind of get in. Bruno G, Tonali, and whoever it will be, Joe Linton or whatever, is a good midfield. That can get you in the top 4.
For me, I just didn't think. And again, like I'm looking at my list, I had Højlund in there.
Yeah, scrub.
Hey, Adele had him as well, man, and Wivey.
Yeah, well, I think it's hype. That's FPL hype. There's a guy trying to get there for the
No, but honestly, 90% of the reason Højlund's in there is because the backup's Martial. That's so he is. If this was done in most important, Højlund could be number 1. Because if Højlund's not there, Martial's playing. Well, he's not even playing 30 games. He's injured. Someone's doing a false 9 shift. Yeah, Bruno, Ericsson, whoever. Someone's doing a false 9 shift because Martial's injured. So that's why. That's the main reason Højlund made my list. But to be fair, I get to but third, man.
Third is high.
You need to speak to Wivey about that.
That's so funny.
I don't know what's going on there.
That's
but
so funny.
In 8th place, there was Tonali. Then in 7th place, was Jeremy Doku.
I had him actually pretty high on my list. I had him maybe
6. He had 6 votes. You and Wivey had him 4th, which was the highest.
Yeah, I had him probably too high on my list, but I can defend it for the simple fact that half of it is his performances so far, and half of it is I know what he's going to produce. In this 15-16 game stretch that Man City are going to win every game on. I think.
And what is that? Raheem Sterling numbers.
It won't be Raheem Sterling numbers, but it will be football. It will be like Riyad Mahrez type. Oh, I'm off my seat football. And I think it's going to be Pep is going to go.
It won't be that level.
It won't be that level.
Yeah,
it won't be that level. But you'll be like, oh,
there'll be that type. Of,
it'll be like, oh, Pep is going to go to him a lot because he's going to beat his man. Every time. And those Sheffield United games and those Wolves games. I know they lost the Wolves, but those lower league, championship defender games when they come against Jeremy Doku and Haaland's making runs in the middle. It's an alley-oop.
I don't know. So I'm looking at your list, You think he's been a better signing than Diaby?
He hasn't. Diaby has had better games, and I had Diaby 5th,
yeah. You had Doku.
I probably should have switched them, but I just think that
Wivey didn't have Diaby at all.
That's crazy. Diaby's there. That's crazy.
Chat to your boy, man.
That's crazy.
Vicario's made it, man. João Pedro. Where's Diaby, man?
I can only say that guys must have been sweating. They must.
What did you tell me? They folded under the pressure.
They knew their time was going to come on the pod.
Yeah.
But I'll just say with
Doku.
Diaby actually probably might finish with more goals than assists than Doku. But I think Jeremy Doku with the Haaland factor and the Alvarez factor is going to become such a lethal weapon. And Jack Grealish, man, you better be worried. Yeah. You better be worried. Because that guaranteed start, I'm just gonna retain possession thing. Yeah. I think there's gonna these December fixtures. There's gonna be games where Doku's just blitzing guys.
Yeah.
And
I didn't have Doku in my list. I did consider him, but I just thought on that thing, Jack Grealish does need to be worried, but I think there will be a lot of games that Grealish starts.
Oh yeah, he
and
will.
Doku kind of
his first season.
Exactly. Learns the system, does whatever. But he is, like you say, he is a maverick. He's a 1v1 guy. He's gonna beat his man. He's gonna create space for guys like Haaland and Alvarez and whatnot. But at this point, currently, I don't think I've seen enough. I come back to it, man. Kai Havertz influenced the biggest game of the season for Arsenal. I haven't seen that kind of impact from Jeremy Doku.
I think honestly, one of the main reasons I put Doku in was simply because of the fact that City don't have another player like him, and therefore, I think he is going to get his minutes and he's going to excel.
He'll be an important part.
And then obviously Pep did what Pep did with Sterling, Mikel, big part of that.
Yeah.
But if he gets him into this back post guy, I just really think that Alvarez, Doku, and Haaland could cause serious trouble if they end up, especially if De Bruyne comes back. De Bruyne to Doku, the switch.
Yeah.
Ugh.
When he's isolated.
Oh my God. The chalk on Doku's boots when De Bruyne is back in. And then the 1v1s and then Haaland just gobbling up everything in the middle. Long day.
Yeah, I agree with you that I think that Man City have got a good player there, no doubt. He's going to become an important part of that team. I just don't think at this moment, I even think at the end of the season, and it'll be good to kind of look back at this maybe at the end of the season or in how many months' time and see how close we were kind of thing. But I don't think Doku's impact will be measured this season kind of thing, which is why I couldn't put him in. Because I think the whole second season Pep, one season to adjust and whatever.
I can concede to that point.
Especially not to have him fourth.
I can concede to fourth is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, but I can.
That's you.
I know, but I still think the thing is, and I still come back to this. I just think that, if Man City were gonna play a final tomorrow, he starts Grealish.
Yeah.
But if Man City are gonna win that final, Doku has to come on.
He comes on, might change the game, whatever. And to be fair, 6 people out of the 8 voted for him, so it's not like it wasn't a common thing. But so we had Kai Havertz in 10, Vicario in 9, Tonali in 8, 7th was Doku, and in 6th place, the other guy we just touched on, Moussa Diaby. He got 5 votes, so he actually got less votes than Doku, but a couple people had him in 4th, one person didn't have him. But yeah, I definitely think Moussa Diaby's been better so far.
Oh, he has for sure. And I think the thing about Moussa Diaby as well is Arsenal were linked with Diaby for so long, and my whole hesitation was we know this Bundesliga hype stuff. He's nice. I see. He's killing guys with his pace in the Bundesliga, but the high lines are crazy. Does he have the clinical? Is he clinical? Is he going to be clinical enough in the Premier League? Is he going to get bullied? Is he going to get shoved off the ball? So for Unai to get him into a team, get him into a system,
and he's not even playing off the right.
I was going to say as some inside forward.
Yeah, he's playing as a 10.
Yeah,
behind Watkins.
Yeah, as some inside forward thing, and it's also the goals he's scoring. There's a variety in them. Not that it's he's poaching or anything like that, but it's not that every goal is a cut in with his left foot and he just whacks it like Anthony. Yeah. There's certain goals in there where it's ricocheted 3 times off somebody in the box and Diaby gets there and just, puts it home type of thing. So I give him a lot of respect, and he's playing for Aston Villa, so it's not that Aston Villa are a bad team or anything like that. But he had the hype of he's going to come to a top 4, top 6 club, and now he's playing for Aston Villa and he's still balling. He has 3 goals to assist.
He's gonna see less of the ball than a guy like Jeremy Doku.
Yeah. And he's gonna be asked to do a lot more defending. And stuff.
But his impact. The biggest thing for me, I had him 8th in my list. The biggest thing for me was, like you say, the Bundesliga tax.
Yeah.
For a guy to come here and be like, yeah, you know what, like it doesn't matter what league it is, I'm gonna come and do my thing.
And what's crazy about Diaby is that he did that from pre-season. He scored in his debut.
Scored at St James's Park in the first game of the season. He's been solid so far. He's been that Brighton game. He was causing Brighton all sorts of problems. His pace is going to be a problem, a big problem.
And he's not like. I'm not gonna say that he's composed, but he's not like a young Raheem in front of goal where it's like mad erratic.
Yeah.
Like he has a little bit of like, I can slow myself down.
Yeah.
I can pick a corner.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can put it there, type of thing.
I think
like 40 mil.
Yeah. I think at this current moment, he's shown a bit more than Jeremy Doku.
Yeah, he has. That's for sure. The only reason as well is look, Man City are going to finish higher than Villa, and they're going to.
Jeremy Doku's probably going to finish the season with 2 trophies.
And exactly. Is what it is.
But then we get into the top 5, and the gap in points between Diaby, who is in 6th, and the top 5 is it's almost 20 points, which is quite a lot. But yeah, in 5th place,
there's a lot to talk about with this guy.
Tottenham's new centre back, the guy who came in left-footed. They're comparing him to big Toby Alderweireld. High praise. Mickey van der Ven got 7 votes. A couple people had him in 2nd. Amon, the Chelsea fan, had him in 2nd. I had him 3rd. And one person didn't have him. Adele.
Who did he have? Did he have a defender in there? Did he have any defender in there?
We had a Dogi. He had Gvardiol.
So I was just about to make this point. Gvardiol is a better defender than Van de Ven. Gvardiol is a better football player than Van de Ven. Gvardiol is not in my list. Yeah.
Yo, Van de Ven, I had him 3rd.
Yeah, you're crazy for that. There's a lot of explanations.
Yo, he's been so serious.
No, the only reason I have Van de Ven in my team, in my top 10 signings, is because I know who Eric Dyer is. That's it.
We didn't have Hoyland.
No, but no.
We know who Martial is.
No. Look, Martial is bad. He's bad.
Horrendous.
But the thing about Eric Dyer is, like, Martial doesn't pretend who he is. He doesn't pretend who he is. He doesn't hide who he is. I'm a part-time footballer. I care when the season's done.
Yeah.
And between match week 34
if you put it on a plate for me, I'll score.
Yeah. Southampton home, Southampton away, in the Carabao Cup where nobody cares. I'm here to back. I'm here to play football. But any big game, don't ask me.
Other than that, I'm going to play the game at my pace.
Yeah, exactly. The thing about Eric Dyer is obviously the hype, which I still haven't gotten over.
Yeah. Portuguese.
Yeah, he should be a midfielder.
Holding midfield player.
Yeah, he should be a midfielder thing. He's like a 6 and a 4 at the same time. Vieira shouts, all that, that stuff.
Yeah.
And Eric Dyer and Ben Davies and Davinson Sanchez. When I looked at Tottenham and I thought, when Harry Kane left, I thought it doesn't matter who Tottenham sign up top. If they have Eric Dyer, Davinson Sanchez, and Ben Davies, they're going nowhere. They're finishing. They're finishing They're finishing the middle of the pack, and there's nothing they can do about it. So I had Van de Ven in there for the simple fact that he hasn't cocked up yet. Once he's shown a good turn of pace when he's needed to. He's played things safe, scored his first goal the other day. And I purely had him in my top 10. Gvardiol was a better player than him, for sure. But I had him in my list for the simple fact that he's so much better than the bullshit that Eric Dyer is.
Yeah.
He's crazy. He's actually crazy.
For me, I had him 3rd. From what I'm seeing, one person had him 2nd. Bat had him 3rd. Obviously, Tottenham fan. Nick had him 4th. So he obviously pretty high up. Obviously, that's why he is where he is. But I think for me, it's like you list those guys, Davies, Dyer, Sanchez, but I'm putting Romero in that category. I do not think Romero is.
You. Speak on it.
Like,
thank you. I'm at church.
A top centre back. I don't think he's even good.
People have Romero in their top 5. I speak to some of my friends and like, they have Romero in their top 5. They have Romero in their like.
No, he's rash. He's a liability, and that, to my point, is even more of a reason. Van de Ven's making him look
a lot better,
like a top 5 guy, and that's where I think Van de Ven's kind of calmed him down, kind of made him look better, and that's when you know, like, you got a sign of a really, really good centre back is when he's making the other guy look good. He's left-footed. We know about the left-footed angles.
It's just that Dyer doesn't bail Romero out. And Dyer's right there with Romero on a red card challenge, on a yellow card challenge. I feel like Van de Ven is... Look, I have him in my list. He is a good player.
And the other thing is you also got to look at, like, Postecoglou hasn't come in and gone like, yeah, we're going to be defensively solid.
Yeah.
He's come in and gone, we're going to play football. We're going to invert our fullbacks. We're going to leave Van de Ven and Romero exposed to 1v1. And again, Van de Ven's come from the Bundesliga, and he's come in and he's been exposed 1v1 against top players, and he's done well.
I feel like there is a bit of hype though, because the big games that Tottenham have had where I've thought, there's going to be, let's see who he is. He's going to have to face a top striker. For example, the game that we played versus us, Jesus plays out wide. And he has Eddie, easier game. Man United, fair enough, but they're just shit. And then the Liverpool game, Liverpool have 2 red cards. Yeah. And then everybody else is Sheffield and
I hear that. But
those are the games where Dyer makes mistakes. Those are the games where Dyer kicks into the back of his own net. Sanchez is sent off before half time.
Sanchez slips, falls on his face, and the guy's in. But what have you thought of Van de Ven in possession?
In possession, he's good, and he actually does have a turn of pace. He can. He's not like a slouch.
Because to play that Ange ball,
and
he's got to be comfortable receiving it in tight areas, playing passes. And look at where Tottenham are, top of the table, unbeaten.
But I'm telling you, the day Van de Ven,
we expect to fall off.
The day he stretches out his hamstring, the day he has a tweak.
But isn't that even more?
You'll see. Well,
why he should be. Because
as
soon as Van de Ven
goes, that's why he's in my list. Because as soon as he's done,
lower than Doku, but
because as soon as he's done, because I haven't put him there based off his playing ability.
Come on, man, he's been better than Tonali.
No.
Van de Ven's not been better than Tonali.
He's high, bro. He's been better than Dyer, and that is why he's on my list. He's been better than Eric Dyer, who's trash. He's trash. And that is why he's on my list. And I actually pray for Van de Ven's downfall. Well, not pray for his downfall, but I want to see Dyer back as a footballer.
Yeah, of course. Of course we do. Exactly. Of course we do. But we're praying on Van de Ven's downfall because we've seen him be...
We've seen him be a good player.
Yeah.
We've seen him be a 5 and above most weeks.
He's the kind of guy who, back in the day, obviously, Daniel Levy's our waste man, so he's going to keep Van de Ven at that club against his will at all costs. No way he goes but anywhere. Back in the day, that kind of player, Van de Ven, is the guy who goes to Tottenham and then goes to Man United under Fergie.
Yeah.
Like he makes that trajectory.
I'm only holding out. I know he's definitely not a bad player. He's definitely not a scrub or anything like that. I just need to see him in an actual fight with a good team, with there's pressure on him. Somebody's trying to man mark him or stretch him or whatever.
You need to see him up against like a real number 9.
Yeah, I would have loved to see him versus Darwin. In the Liverpool game. I'd have loved to see him, even if Darwin got a 20-minute cameo, just the chaos, the runs in behind, the strength that he would have
getting up against.
You see what I'm saying?
Can he handle that kind of player?
Yeah, can he handle
100%,
that?
100%. He's 6'4" though.
He is. So it's crazy.
Obviously, we don't know, but
he should have it.
Yeah,
he should have it. But he's a good player.
Yeah,
he's a 7th player.
I think again, the other thing is like we say. How bad is that Tottenham defense? How bad was that Tottenham defense last year with Dyer, Davies, whoever it is, Sanchez, Romero included? And now Van de Ven's come in, and they're still conceding goals. And like you say, they've had some easy fixtures, but I think even so, to do what he's done and to come into that defense and kind of be the main guy now and be the most important player in that back four. I think he deserves credit, man. He came from the Bundesliga.
He does. He came from the Bundesliga, but that's why it's not been so much of a change from him. Postecoglou's playing a high line. Van de Ven is only playing high lines, but he has the pace.
But now he's playing against serious.
Now he's playing against serious people, and he has the baby Romero. So he does deserve some credit for that.
Udogi's playing as a winger most of the time.
Yeah, but as I said, I think Guardiola's a better player defender than him. I just had to put Van de Ven in because Tottenham, the form that they're in, and how terrible the rest of their players in defense are, and I need them back. I need Højbjerg back in midfield. I need Dyer. I need all of that. That's the Tottenham I know and love.
Yeah. But yeah, Mickey Van der Ven came in 5th. And then the top 4. So all these 4 players got voted for by everyone. Obviously, as expected, they're in the top 4. And in 4th place, we've got James Ward.
I probably had him too low down in my list, but
where did you have him? You had him 7th. Yeah,
that's fine.
You had him 7th. Adele and Nick had him 3rd, which was the highest in the list. But yeah, everyone had him. I had him 6th. Obviously, I had him below Edson Alvarez.
That's crazy. But I think a lot of Edson Alvarez's very, very good performances, as you've said, have come because JWP is right there to get the goals and assists and make up for the winning difference in West Ham.
The main reason I had Alvarez above a guy like James Ward-Prowse is because I've always thought James Ward-Prowse is a good player. I always thought a lot of people who maybe don't watch him or didn't used to watch Southampton or whatever thought, oh yeah, set piece merchant, like he's just good on corners and whatever. But James Ward-Prowse is a very good player, man. Like, and I kind of expected him to be able to go into West, probably not do as well as he's done, especially in terms of goals and assists. But I knew he'd be a good player there.
Yeah.
When a guy comes from a different league, especially the Dutch league, man, and you're telling this guy, come in, play the number 6, hold it down at West Ham, replace Declan Rice, like that's why even though Ward-Prowse has been better in terms of his performances than Alvarez. I think, that coming in saying, replace Declan Rice, do what you need to do.
I think you're right. I'm not shocked that James Ward-Prowse is having the season that he's having. I think I am a little bit surprised about the goals and assists and the output so far in the season. However, the reason I put him on my team was the plug and play. Like, it feels like he's been at West Ham for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I didn't think
seamless transition.
I thought he was going to come in and give you 7 out of 10s most weeks. But now he's coming in, he's giving you like 8.5, 9s out of 10s, goals and assists. The set piece is on. It's cracked. It's so cracked.
Aguerd and Zuma just eating it up.
It's so cracked. It's like West Ham have like 1 or 2 like clear-cut goal scoring opportunities from corners alone every game.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just because James Ward-Prowse is putting on a sixpence every time.
Yeah.
So big ups to him. And as I say, the 90 minutesness, the availability, the set, you know, all of it. Shout out to a guy who is just so clearly a Premier League player.
Yeah.
You know, and
he keeps it ticking in midfield. Like you say, he has definitely helped a guy like Edson Alvarez.
Because there's less pressure on Edson Alvarez to play that like.
Yeah, and Ward-Prowse can drop in, help him out defensively, play as a double pivot or whatever. But yeah, obviously, no surprise, everyone had him in his list. He's been a great signing. And there's not really too much to say on James Ward-Prowse.
He is.
Yeah, he's going to come in, he's going to get the job done. And how much did they sign him for?
It was dirt cheap, man.
Good business from West Ham. But moving into 3rd place, again voted for by everyone. I had him 2nd. Louis had him 2nd.
I had him 3rd, I think.
Pat actually had him last on his list. Honestly, it's like, how is Szoboszlai below João Pedro, man? Michael, swear out. But yeah, in 3rd place, Dominic Szoboszlai. We've sung his praises on this podcast before. And where did you had him 3rd?
Yeah, he's balling.
Yeah,
he's balling. He's a Premier League player. He's a number 8. He has it all, the technique, he has the lungs, he has the physicality. It's crazy. Liverpool have like not really had 11 men for most of the games he's played, but he's already shown that.
But he's playing 90 minutes every week.
Yeah, he's already shown
filling in as a 6.
I can do this. Yeah. I can do this. I can be a goal threat. I can create. I can do it. Like he was worth
6'2".
Yeah,
stamina.
He was worth the release clause.
Yeah,
he's just a super serious player. He's got the set pieces. He's got the free kicks. Do you remember we spoke about him time ago? when he was still in
yeah,
Salzburg, and I was like, we should sign a guy like a young up and coming. When's the last time Arsenal signed a young up and coming world talent? But fair play to Liverpool for just getting it done, really, and transitioning him into
another guy
thing.
from the Bundesliga.
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
Came in, and he's just like, I mean, McAllister's been playing as a 6 for a lot of games, and the only reason that McAllister is like staying above water there is because Szoboszlai is there doing the hard yards, running,
and
he's
things. Technically so good. I feel like he can play off both feet, score an assist off both feet.
He kind of has every facet to his game.
He's also one of those guys where it's like he gets on the ball and he's not sloppy. He's not gonna lose it. He's not gonna give it away. He just plays the right ball with the right weight.
Yep.
And he's just a sound player for real. And he's gonna be a part of whatever Liverpool do next. He's gonna be a massive part of it.
Yeah. And I think obviously Liverpool fans are already comparing him to Steven Gerrard, but I think he will be a big component of that Liverpool team.
For the future, for years to come.
Why Klopp's there? The minute they add a real top quality number 6 to that team, I think you'll really see Szoboszlai come and be like the main guy in that midfield, really kind of come into his own. But yeah, you can see the talent there already. And yeah, man, I think he's also going to be a guy. I can see him being a guy who, like, in a big game, I don't know, maybe they play like Chelsea or Man United even, and Szoboszlai goal, Szoboszlai assist. I think he's got that capability in him to kind of turn up on the big stage.
The front, and I already know who the last two are in the top 2.
Yeah, as you can probably guess. Again, man, bro, why have he's got Tonali and Doku above Szoboszlai?
Now
what's going on with this list? Bro?
That is criminal.
JWP, fair enough, but Tonali and Doku.
No, Tonali's no excuse. There's no excuse. Szoboszlai is they're both the same amount of money, but Szoboszlai is a better value for money. Has played better over the last games.
Bat had Cole Palmer in 4th and Szoboszlai in 10th.
Cole Palmer must be Bat's friend. They must play top golf together or something.
Top golf in Chingford.
Yeah, there's no reason why a deadline day signing should ever be. And he was just like an addition.
Cole Palmer's got 2 league goals in his career, I think.
It's just an addition to Madueke and Sterling and everybody else. It was just another one to the number.
Yeah,
for him to be 4th.
But we've got Dominic Szoboszlai in 3rd. So in 2nd place now, obviously you guys probably know who the top 2 are, but in 2nd place is Declan Rice.
Is it?
The guy who came from West Ham to Arsenal. He came to try and be the difference for 105 million. Obviously, he was in everyone's list. You and YV had him first.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, as someone who had him first, talk on the Declan Rice signing.
I mean, there isn't much. If you listen to the last however many podcasts we've done, he gets a shout every game. He could be man of the match every game. Obviously, the fact that the price tag isn't as much of a thing anymore is huge.
Why is he the best? Why is he number 1?
I think he is the best for the simple fact that he's performed very well, very, very well. Yeah. In the beginning 8 games of the season, and it's so clear that whatever this Arsenal team go on to do, he's going to be so instrumental in. And I think Arsenal are going to go on to do big things. So I think he's the best summer signing of the season because he is going to be the difference between A and B. And that's why I had him ahead of Maddison.
Yeah.
Because Maddison is pound for pound maybe as good as signing because he costs 40 mil instead of 100 mil. However, I think Tottenham might scrape 5th.
Yeah.
You know, whereas with Declan Rice, I think he might bring the chip home, win whatever,
and literally be the difference,
and literally be the reason why the last
as well as Kai Havertz,
and be the reason why the last Arsenal team wasn't able to get over the line, and why this Arsenal team was able to get over the line. And if that costs you 100 mil, but you get over the line, that is you're worth every penny. Best signing, so on and so forth. And then obviously, they're both great in terms of media darlings, but it's maybe bias in this answer. Arsenal have been transformed media wise.
Yeah.
Like we're no longer
We're getting penalties.
we're getting everything, man. We're like Gary Neville's tipping us to win the league, and there's a real difference in this team. I see leadership, I see strength, I see unity, all the stuff that like.
I'm not going to criticize Arsenal for over celebrating.
Yeah, yeah. Now's the time.
Because Declan Rice has scored the winner.
You see what I'm saying? It is a bit of a transformation, both on the pitch and off the pitch, and he's just going to get better. I still think he's probably in like third gear, and he has like a fourth and fifth gear to get into, and it's crazy to think that a man with this much, I don't know if pressure on his shoulders for sure, but like going into the season, how long you said it was a transfer saga and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, like how all of that now falls by the wayside.
The way Man City came in, with 100 million,
all of that
falls,
falls by the wayside now, and I think that adds to his story. Because Maddison, I guess there wasn't really that much competition. You see, for Maddison,
yeah.
So
Spurs going for 40 million.
You beat out, Arsenal beating out all the competition, and there was so much, hype around it, media around it. And now 8 weeks into the season, it's like, oh yeah, this is why you spend 100 million on this. Like nobody's saying anything, about this being a bad signing, and that just is such a testament to what Declan Rice has done, because he's top, and he has to get into our team, whether it's the 6, whether it's the 8, whether it's the 10. He has to get into our team.
Yeah, he plays.
This is a team that is the second best.
Yeah. I had him 4th on my list. And the only reason I had him 4th was because for Declan Rice, similarly to what we spoke about with Jeremy Doku, obviously slightly different. I think Declan Rice's impact as a summer transfer, obviously we know he's a top player. We know he's transformed the Arsenal team. He's made the Arsenal team better. He's going to be a great player for however many years he's at Arsenal. But his real kind of impact and how tangible that's going to be, for me personally, is going to be measured at the end of the season.
At the end of the season, I agree. 100% agree. And
that's the only reason why I didn't have him higher up the list.
And a bit of why I have him top is me preempting things. And getting ahead of myself and like being a bit biased. I think it will be not ludicrous, but I think it would be crazy for this team to not win something big at the end of the season. And I just think he's going to be, just such a massive part of it. And it's a lot of me putting him top is future predictions on top. Like
if Arsenal do win the league, he goes straight to second on my list behind Kai Havertz.
Obviously Kai Havertz scored
the biggest game of the season.
The Michy Batshuayi goal away.
Kai Havertz was the difference. Where, obviously we know Declan Rice's performance levels have been top. We said in the Man City game, even if Partey's fit, even if Timber's fit, even if Saka's fit, if there's no Declan Rice, maybe we still lose that game. But that tangible impact I'm talking about with Declan Rice, I've already seen from Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz has already given me.
He can only grow
that assist.
Green shoots
in the biggest game.
Green shoots,
in the biggest moment on the biggest stage. He's done it. I can point to that moment there, and I say we paid 65 million for this guy, and to be fair, got it done.
If you asked any club in the Premier League, would you pay 65 million to beat Manchester City at home?
And you're in a title race
with 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And tell me which club is like, nah, I'd rather 65 M to develop some youth players.
Chelsea paid that for Gusto.
It's half Caicedo. I would.
Yeah,
I would.
And we've got 3 points there, man. And that's the tangible impact I'm talking about. But yeah, there's no doubt. I think almost everyone had him first or second. Armand, the Chelsea fan, had him 8th, which has to be an agenda because he had Dizazi above him.
That's great.
So Armand, I know that's an agenda. But yeah, Declan Rice in second place. Obviously, no doubting his quality, no doubting what he's done since he came to Arsenal. I just feel, and again, I'm holding Declan Rice to a higher standard.
Yeah.
Because I've got Szoboszlai in second and Van der Ven in third, and then Declan Rice. For Szoboszlai and Van der Ven, both coming from a different league, my expectations is not, especially in the Bundesliga, it's not very high. But they've both come into their respective clubs and notably made a difference. And for Tottenham, who finished 8th last year, no European football, if Tottenham finish in the Conference League or the Europa League, Van der Ven's been a great signing for them because he's improved them. If Liverpool finish in the Champions League, Szoboszlai's improved them. But for Arsenal, the improvement is
winning, to
actually go and win the league and take on Man City. And that's why I think Declan Rice's impact will be measured at the end of the season.
No, 100%. I mean, I think I was like, amongst all the hype in the media, that's what a lot of people were saying, is that he, as much as he cost 100M, it's not about goals and assists, it's about trophies at the end of the season. Like, I don't care what he finishes with goals and assists.
I'm holding him to a higher standard than the other players on this list.
Yeah, no, I agree. But the reason I also had to put him number one is to eat, like, or to show him some flowers and eat my shit about the agenda. It's buried.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
Yeah. You wanted Caicedo, who didn't even make your list.
But if Caicedo was in Arsenal,
instead of Declan Rice.
There is no instead of in Declan Rice. There is no.
There is no replacement.
It had to be a 1-2 punch. I just think, I mean, there's everything that we can say about Declan Rice has been said, or you've heard, or you can see. The only people really doubting or hating on Declan Rice are people that just like have blinders on and don't want.
Yeah, like bro, even Bat, who's a Tottenham fan, for those who don't know, had him second.
Yeah, if you don't want to see it, obviously you don't want to see it.
Yeah.
But also I think it's interesting. No, apart from Højlund, no real United signings on the list. No Mount. Whoever.
I think Mount's a good player. I think he'll do all right at Man United, but obviously, given the start of the season, he's been injured. There was no way I could put him in. Like I said, Man United have been so terrible. Amrabat's not making the list. Let's be real.
You don't think that one game with Crystal Palace? Who was Steve Bruce? There's a real player there. Shut up.
Yeah, he's not making the list. And like I say, I'm not looking at Højlund and thinking, yo, this kid's special, or this kid's a top 10 signing, but it means they don't have to play more.
But before so just to clear this, obviously I don't have an agenda against Højlund.
Scrub.
I Højlund is a good player and he will come good for United and he will score goals.
I'm not even like dead certain saying that. Like
no, he's gonna go.
But he's better than exactly.
Yeah, he's better than Martial. Exactly. But my only reservation with Højlund is that like. I know what it's like to put your hopes and dreams on a 20-year-old summer signing from another league who is not proven at all, and then be like, "I need you to be the guy for it." Like you're gonna lap up everything. He'll close down a player, win a throw in high up the pitch, and for you that's like 3 or 4 goals, and that's really only because he's not scoring 3 or 4 goals.
Yeah,
in a game. You know,
obviously I didn't have Doku on my list, or Vicario. You can even bring in Vicario for that. Yeah, Vodka Vic or Doku, who have probably both been better than Højlund, you could say. But if Doku doesn't play, Grealish plays. And obviously Vicario is a keeper, and I'm still not fully convinced. Bro, I can't stress this enough, man. If Rasmus Højlund does not play for Man United, there's no Wout Weghorst this year. It's Tony Marshall, bro. He's coming straight back in, and he's gonna be lax. He's gonna be like walk around the pitch,
his gloves on.
Rashford's gonna be walking. like it's just problems. It's problems. So they could have signed any striker. They could have signed, I don't know, Neil Maupay, and he might have made my list.
Yeah. I think Neil Maupay probably outscore Højlund. Højlund's a good player.
But moving on. Obviously, we had Declan Rice in second, and as you guys probably have noticed by now, number one, the best summer transfer of the window just gone, was in everyone's list. He was first or second for everyone but myself. James Maddison.
Yeah, Maddis.
And I'll go first on this because I had Maddison 7th in my list.
7th?
Yeah, I had him 7th. But again, part of that is similar to Ward-Prowse, similar to Declan Rice. I know they're good players. I know they're very good players. There's a tweet from me at uni in like 2019 that said Maddison will be the best number 10 in the world one day, which is obviously me just taking putting a bit of extra sauce on it.
Yeah.
But I rate Maddison very highly. I have done what he's come and done at Spurs.
It's not surprising.
Yeah. Similar with Ward-Prowse, similar with Declan Rice. Guys like Szoboszlai and Van der Ven. obviously Kai Havertz just made the difference in the biggest game of the season, so he had to go there. But
Guess.
Szoboszlai and Van der Ven came from a different league. I didn't know what to expect. Edson Alvarez again. That's why they're higher than those guys. I expected Maddison to come in. I didn't expect Spurs to do this well, which is why I've obviously got two of their players in my list. But that's why Maddison was 7th, because he's doing what I thought he would do.
No, yeah, I agree. He's doing what I thought he would do. I think really the reason I had him so high on my list was he's doing what I thought he would do. And the 40 million, like the pound for poundness of the signing, of just like for 40 million, you've got a proven guy who can get you, 10 and 12, 12 and 10, whatever it's going to be. And I really think that
for an extra 25 million, you can guarantee a win against Man City, though.
Oh, Tottenham would take that. Well, Tottenham have a good record.
Yeah, true. There's no Harry Kane, though.
Yeah. But what I'll just say about Maddison is he is putting in the performances that you would expect him to put in. However, without Maddison, I do think it all kind of falls apart. Tottenham will leak goals.
And
if they can't outscore the team or out-threaten the team that they're playing,
their creative influence goes completely.
Yeah, and he's such a linchpin. And he makes Son and Richarlison and Solomon he makes
Son at striker with Bentancur, Saw in the 10.
Oh my gosh, and Højbjerg.
Son's gonna stop.
Yeah. Maddison has the quality to play the ball that the defense isn't seeing, or everybody else in Tottenham isn't capable of playing.
He can drop deep. He can pick it up. He can make things happen.
And there's something that has to be said about the plug and playness. Like, as much as we expect guys to just go up another level and adapt and do well, I think you have to give them credit, because you see certain guys who do go up another level and can't hack it and play for bigger teams and don't do well. So he has to get some respect for making the jump, playing for a bigger club, having all the pressure, all the expectations. As soon as Kane left, he became the star boy signing, number 10. All of
vice captain straight away.
Yeah, all of that. And look, they're top of the table. Without him, they definitely would not be top of the table.
Without Van der Ven, they wouldn't be there either.
Yeah, we know who Dyer is. That's what I say. We know who Dyer is. But I just think, he has to get his shouts. The start of the season is electric. It bodes well for Tottenham with that front three. And the drop off without him or like anybody else in that position, it's just
it'll be massive. It'll be massive.
Yeah.
Just looking at it here, Adel had him first, Wavy had him second, Louis had him first, Bat had him first, you had him second, Oman had him first, Nick had him first. And there are a couple of Arsenal fans there that have obviously put him above Declan Rice. And the only reason Maddison's so low on my list is purely because he's suffering from how highly I already
rated him.
That's true. I think some people have looked at what Maddison's done at Tottenham and thought, I didn't know he was this good.
That's crazy, because you should have.
You
should have.
Though obviously we all know Leicester got relegated last year, horrible season, but before that Leicester were usually fighting for European spots.
He was part of it.
And he was a big part of it. Played in the FA Cup final. He's won an FA Cup.
Yeah, I feel like he's always got 10 goals in
8. Yeah. 100%. And before we finish up, obviously you can see the lists here just by looking at it. Who do you think had the worst list?
Cole Palmer 4th is a terrible. João Pedro and Cole Palmer in the same list with Szoboszlai and Vicario as the bottom 2. But some explaining. You, Caicedo and Højlund 9 and 10. I mean,
I've explained that.
Edison Alvarez 5th. I don't know. It brings a lot of things down. Wadi Tonali number 3. Crazy. Vicario in there. João Pedro in there. Adele's got João Pedro in there as well.
I did consider João Pedro.
I think João Pedro's been a good player, but I don't think he's I actually thought he was going to do better than he's doing, and he's doing all right.
For me, it's the other way around. He's actually doing better than that.
I had a lot of expectations for him,
but
I think it's got to be Bat, unfortunately. Cole Palmer,
for Cole Palmer alone.
Vicario, João Pedro, and then Doku and Slobosz. It's almost as if he just shoved Doku and Slobosz in. Just get in there.
You're absolutely saving YV here, but
YV's got bad. I mean, there's that.
In what Wivey, I'm talking directly to you here, yeah? In what universe is Tonali the third best summer signing?
What I'll tell you about why these list is the bottom three: Hoyland, Vicario, and Pedro. It screams panic. It screams. I folded under pressure.
Yeah,
I need
just
to
get 3 names out there.
Yeah.
Any 3 names.
Then again, oh man, he's got Disassi, he's got Caicedo in there.
Yeah.
Cole Palmer 10th. 3 Chelsea players he thinks are the top 10 signings of the summer.
Yeah, this list, he's got Declan Rice in 8th.
Yeah, under Disassi. Who I would assume is gonna have another Koulibaly-esque just from January. Badia Shields back in. And
he's got Caicedo above Declan Rice.
It's crazy. He's also got Van der Ven way too high up in his list, unfortunately. Third? I
have him third. He had him second.
Oh, that's so crazy.
And what we're saying about Nick's list, Pau Torres in
5th. Pau Torres
in 5th.
Ahead of Diaby.
That's supposed like
Pau Torres is just.
Although I can't lie,
it's been so meaty. Baleba
and Kudus.
The Kudus is Kudus.
What's going on there?
Kudus is a player. I have no doubt.
Doku 4th.
You've been talking a lot about Kai Havertz. I whisper at night that I would take Kudus.
No.
Kudus is a player.
Let's not do that.
Kudus is a player.
Kai Havertz. Yeah, I'm fully justified in this.
But
yeah, in the biggest. I can't stress this enough, yeah, because I know everyone watching this, everyone who's made the list, no one's seen my list, so I know everyone's gonna be like, "Amo, you're taking the piss," yeah.
That's too funny.
In the biggest game of the season, when we needed our £65 million man who moved from West London to North London, he turned up.
But that's
he got
what
shoved in the back by Ake.
Baleba.
He stays on his feet,
debut
sets it up perfectly, and bang. 3
So
points.
you talk about Baleba debut, Liverpool at home. Yeah, blitz. They're getting blitzed by Liverpool, but guess who steps up? I've seen the driving runs from midfield.
I saw 190 minutes when got him on this list
because I see the future. I see the vision. 3 weeks from now, we'll be talking about what's a player that Brighton have on their hands here. Like when De Zerbi was like Caicedo, I don't even he's already gone. I don't even miss Caicedo. It's because he knew he was coming in. But Baleba goes for 70-80 mil in a year or 2 years.
What did De Zerbi say? I've forgotten about.
Yeah, exactly.
I've forgotten about.
That's because he knows who's coming in. And I've seen enough to know that he's got Caicedo 2.0, and I'm just gonna love him just as much. I'm gonna love him just as much as Caicedo 1.0.
And you know what? That's the beauty about doing these lists is that obviously for those who are watching, I didn't give anyone any sort of criteria about how to judge this. I literally just messaged people and I said,
top 10. If
you're up for it, send me your top 10 summer transfers. And that was it. And they all judged it by however they wanted to judge it. I will need to question Bat on what he was thinking and how Cole Palmer's ended up 4th. I don't know what criteria.
My only explanation for that is he must have like OD'd on the under 21s summer. He must have watched every game. And like he must have watched every game, every 90 minutes, and just thought, he's on like 4D chess on Football Manager.
Yeah.
I see
he's watching Man City Academy games.
Yeah. Cole Palmer shook his hand once after.
But yeah, and we've got all those, and together we've obviously come up with the combined top 10. Just to read that off one last time. In 10th place, criminally should be higher, Kai Havertz. I can't believe you didn't put it. You and Nick. I really thought, him and Nick they're gonna boost Kai Havertz in these rankings.
His time will come. Kai's time will come. I have absolutely as I said, I'm plugged into the ether of football. Yeah. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
I know he's gonna have the Eden Hazard, whatever season it was, but come towards March and May, the difference, March and May, he'll be there. 5 and 4.
When crunch time comes, Champions League, round of 16, quarterfinals, KH29.
I don't even think Juventus are in the Champions League, but I just think Kai Havertz is such a guy to like dog on a Juventus.
Yeah.
We're in Italy and we don't know who's going to be the hero.
Yeah.
And guess.
Turn up big. Wait, he's already dunked on Diaz and Ake.
Yeah, there's nothing more you can do, really.
He's given Arteta his first win over Pep. So Take it out what you
Just
will.
not checkers, man.
Exactly. 10th place, Kai Havertz. 9th place, Vicario. 8th place, Tonali. 7th place, Doku. 6th place, Diaby. 5th place, Van der Ven. 4th place, James Ward-Prowse. 3rd place, Dominic Szoboszlai. 2nd place, Declan Rice. And 1st place, the best summer signing, Mr. JM10, James Maddison. Thank you guys for listening.
Bro.
We'll be back next week with the regular roundup. Like I said, next time we do one of these top 10s, I was thinking about doing a top 10 right backs because, like you said, Benny Blanco needs his respect.
He does need his respect.
Or we might do a top 10
Reece
wingers,
James is
whatever.
apparently meant to be back for the weekend, but there's no way they start him.
No, he's not going to start.
There's no way they start him.
But yeah, next time we do a top 10, if you want to get involved, follow us on Instagram at Tiki Taka. And next time we do one, we'll try and get some more people involved and do what we can. And yeah, big UFC card this weekend. We'll touch on that on next week's episode, because obviously that'll be done as well. Thank you guys for listening, and peace.
One love.